Suppose I have a case where my late neighbor has something stolen. Say their lawnmower's been stolen, and we're trying to figure out who stole it. And you're the neighbor, so you're a suspect, and they want to come and get some data from you. And suppose they're going to open your phone, your device, and they're going to use your own biometrics, your fingerprint, or your face to open your phone. You're innocent, you didn't steal the lawnmower, but there is a stream of text messages in there between you and your wife where you're a little bit upset about the neighbors for making loud noises last night, the party that they had. There's all kinds of music and people coming in and out and you couldn't get to sleep and you're complaining back and forth via text message. Therefore, the messages you have in there, even though you're innocent, look incriminating. The police shouldn't be able to open that device.
So when we're talking about the contents of somebody's cell phone, there are really two different constitutional amendments at play. The first is the Fourth Amendment, and this is the idea that law enforcement needs to get a warrant before they can access the contents of your phone. And traditional Fourth Amendment jurisprudence would apply in that scenario. But there's another constitutional amendment that also comes into play. This is the Fifth Amendment, and the Fifth Amendment protects against having to incriminate yourself, give testimony that might otherwise incriminate an individual. And so you see people pleading the Fifth in a lot of court dramas that we see play out on TV. Well, the same applies in this situation. If the government is asking you to use your biometric information, your fingerprint, your face, to open up your phone, you're in a sense incriminating yourself potentially by revealing information that could incriminate you, could put you at the place of the crime, could have statements that reveal your guilt, all sorts of things that would be otherwise protected under the Fifth Amendment. And so that's the reason there are really these two different amendments that need to be considered in this analysis, and courts really need to consider both of those, not just the Fourth Amendment, but also the Fifth Amendment.
And there's certain things about a human that are very unique. For example, the image of the back of your retina, the look of your face, the fingerprint that you have, your voice, all those things are unique. You can't change those ever. Once those pieces of your identification are lost or compromised or gone, they're gone forever. It's not like a password where you can change it. Those pieces are intrinsic to humans. We must protect the privacy of our biometrics.
Because this area of the law is a bit uncertain, in some ways you're actually giving your information less protection by protecting it with biometric information. Since we know for certain that the law respects that a passcode is subject to the Fifth Amendment protections, that in some senses provides additional protection, even more so than biometric information, at least until our courts catch up or our state legislatures decide to enact protections that make this abundantly clear.
Every day I work in a place of very high technology. I work continuously on things like machine learning, artificial intelligence, and I'm seeing the advances of the technology, and I see the need to ensure our privacy amidst all this great technology. As a society, we need to figure out where can police come and get private information versus balance my needs for privacy. We can't have a police state where police have free access to everything. We had that in Nazi Germany. We don't want to have that today. We have other countries in the world that currently have police states where they have all kinds of authority to access people's data, people's private information. We cannot have that here. Yet, at the same time, the police need enough authority that they can pursue criminals when they have a reasonable right to believe that there's a crime committed. How do we balance those rights is a key question. I always err on the privacy side.
You are not under any obligation to facilitate a government's search of your home, and you shouldn't be obligated to facilitate a search of your phone either. Unfortunately, as technology has evolved so that simply using your face or your fingerprint as the password to open up your phone, the same standards should apply, that you shouldn't have to also facilitate law enforcement's search of the contents of your phone.
We always want to decide things in a deliberative manner via creating laws rather than have things decided in the courts. It's always better to have policy that's created fundamentally by thinking through it in a legislative process, creating laws, rather than at the whims of the courts. If we wait for the courts, we may not get the result we want. So by making laws in advance, we get the right result.
Utah has an amazing track record when it comes to protecting Utahns' privacy. Over the years, we've been able to enact at the state level many laws which are the first in the nation and have served as a model bill for other states to follow, protecting information as private that is contained on our phones, for example, or other electronic means. So this is a perfect area for Utah to step out again and demonstrate once again that we can be a leader and that we do value the privacy of our citizens' information. And so we should be the first state to enact this sort of legislation on a state level as well.
When we think about the impact of technology on our fundamental rights, privacy of our biometrics is key. I think the day is very close where when I go to my house, there's no key to use, there's no passcode I enter. The house recognizes me by my face, my voice, my gait, the way I walk, and it lets me in. That same technology can be used to violate individuals' privacy very, very easily. We cannot descend to a place where the government has free access to information. That leads to a fundamental loss of our freedoms, and it will lead to the loss of our liberties.